Let's go ahead and make this slimline card using the new switch die from the Sassy Club. But also I turn this into a sign. This can be a shaker, and I have full-on working light. So let's go ahead and make this, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the switch die, the alphabet die, the cloud stencil, and the Animal Land stamp set that I used. As you can see, all of my supplies are here. I like to put them on a vintage lunch tray so I can keep everything together. I start with the frame. If you're going to do a shaker card, I always like to do the frame to glue the acetate because I like to use wet glue. This ensures that it sticks. I personally don't like use scoring tape because I feel it doesn't always stay. The acetate is non-porous, so it can happen. Now I had an extra one, and this is where I centered the little background that I use, which of course I didn't record in this one, um, how I did the stencil, but I went ahead and I used one of Sassy Club's new premium inks, and this one was the summer green, and that cloud stencil worked out perfectly. Also, the Sassy Club soft brushes, and they were magical. Like, I need to get more. This die comes with the handles, and the funny thing is, I wanted them just to be traditional colors. I actually had to go get Nathan's switch because I wasn't sure which way they go. I know the buttons go one way on one side and the other way. These little tiny button dies, they come together on one piece, so you're not losing tiny little circle dies, because trust me, that is crazy. I have lost way too many dies in my craft room to even count. But I wanted them to be dimensional. I still used the negative space from die cutting them so I can make sure I have them in the correct place. Now you can also use this negative die cut to just glue them directly onto the card if you wanted it to be flat. Again, this does fit the size for a slimline card, which is super cute. They're super popular. I'm starting to get into them more. But I wanted this to be super dimensional. And also, this isn't going to be a card. This is actually just going to be a sign that's going to be put into the hutch with the collectibles, or like in front of the TV, whatever. There's just going to be a sign. It's not going to be a mailed card. But if it was, you just don't add so much dimension. And it's easy to fit into those envelopes. Now, I did the red, and they did the blue. Now I just flip it over and I do the other side. I don't know about you guys, but I really hate the backing on some of these dimensional foam things. They're so hard to get off. But anyhow, I went ahead and did the same thing. I just placed them where I wanted them to go. And if you notice, there's ink all over my hands. That's not blood, because I was coloring the character images earlier, and I just somehow brushed my arm with a Copic. Anyway, that is how much of an inky mess you'll find usually in my craft room. But here I am, just adhering the last of the buttons, and of course getting rid of those backings. I go ahead and put these on the back, and here are the lights. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description, either this or on my YouTube channel, to where I get these lights. These are from Amazon. They do blink. They have several settings. Now what you're going to do is just stretch them out. Don't pull so hard, but they are pretty sturdy. I'm going to stretch them out, uncoil them. I'm going to fold them once and then fold them again on each other. So you shorten them, and you see right here. Now, like I said, you fold it once and then you fold it again. And what I do is I softly twist the wire. These are very sturdy. Just make sure you don't pull hard on them, but you can twist them. The wire is sturdy. I like to twist it so the lights stay together. And this way you have just created a much longer cord into a longer cord. I leave them on so I can see them while I'm twisting the wires. Now, you can actually make your project dimensional enough that this can hide in between the dimensions, but like I said, this is going to be a little sign, so I'm just going to glue it in the back, so it's going to be easy. You're not going to be able to see it. Now, I'm going to go ahead, and everything is going to be double layered because I want it to be nice and sturdy. So I go ahead and adhere the handles to the back of the shaker window. And like I said, and this would be perfect for Sassy also has a lot of game themed stamps that just came out. But I was just using these Animal Crossing inspired stamps. Now I am adding the part to the handles to the second part, and I just want them to make sure I align them on my grid here, but you really don't have to. They align together at the edges. But I went ahead and aligned them together, flipped them upside down so I can glue it, and they are not off to the side or anything like that, because I'm going to add dimensional foam to them, and I wanted them to be exactly the exact length and everything like that. Now, this is 3M foam tape that I got from like the big box office supply stores. I went ahead and tripled this. This has actually been sitting there for a while, so I had to use it. I need to get the one that has black on the sides. You can also, with your Copic markers or Sharpie, color in the foam with a black marker, and that way it'll leave more of a shadow as opposed to the white space. Now here I am measuring the lights, and like I said, I did fold them over twice, and I'm measuring them. As you can see, the actual wire is coming off of the back because it's just going to go flip around the back. You won't even notice it. I went ahead and add the dimensional foam, and I did leave more space on the sides than I did on the top and bottom, mainly because it's going to be glued right onto it. So what we're going to use is small daubs of hot glue. I did one right here to hold in the initial wire from the charger. Then I do make sure to put some in the corner, and just be careful when using hot glue like this. I have calluses and I've used hot glue all the time, so you know, I didn't even feel it. But I do put a few dot of glue every 2 inches, and I hold it down for them to hold it. I don't add glue on the light, I just do it where the wire is. So you're definitely going to get some on your fingers, but I want to make sure that it's as close as it can get to the border of the foam. And of course, I make sure to get the corners. And I just, before I go off to the next one, I make sure that it's holding on. As you can see right here, it's almost every 2 inches that I put glue, so it holds it in. You could potentially just coil them inside and have them just, you know, free range or whatever, but I wanted them to show more like a video, like the old arcade video screens. Now, I had this extra part, so I decided to run it across the middle because my initial plan is to put the dies from the large alphabet die across the front with Nathan's name on it. And that way it'd be super, super easy to cover this wiring and you really won't see it, but it would give more of a flashing lights behind the actual icons. As you can see right here, I'm just testing them, but I do leave the lights on, like I said, so I can make sure to glue it and I'm not pulling on the actual lights. But this is what it's going to potentially look like. And I go ahead and take the other foam tape. Like I said, you could definitely put the battery pack within, and it has a push button within the dimensional parts, but I wanted to put it in the back because I would have to layer it one more time, and this is already layered 3 times. But I went ahead and set all that up. Now, these are my characters. I colored a tree, and I did record this, but I'll put it in another video. I colored a tree and the little boy and the little, I forgot. Nathan told me what that animal was. I have no idea. And I did have blue letters cut out like a light blue, but they've matched too much with the background. So I decided to go a different route and use 2 layers of these light and green. It's like a pear and like an artichoke colored cardstock. I don't know who it's from. I just had it in my collection, so I went ahead and cut 2 of each of the letters so I can layer them so they can have a shadow. And of course, I make the lighter one in the front and the darker one in the back, offset to the bottom left, just so it looks more like it's coming out, like, you know, like a video game. It's so powerful and boom. Yeah, I know. So much for those special effects. So I just go ahead and do that. It was hard figuring out where I wanted to put everything. And as you can see here, I actually put glue on the wrong one. I put glue on the back of the darker one, but I had to wipe it off. And yes, my hands are always sticky and covered in ink. But here I am. I'm just seeing how I'm going to layer everything. And I finally settled, so I went ahead and I like to put clear iridescence in any of my shaker cards. You guys know, if you guys have followed my previous videos, I love shaker cards. I like to use clear iridescent because it'll pick up whatever colors that you're using. It still gives you that sound because you know that one of the best parts about the shaker cards is when you hear it rattle and stuff. So I went ahead and put that. Also, I did some yellow stars just because I felt like it would be cool for like a video game. I remove all the backings from all of these foam tapes and settle everything in. As you can see, like I said, the control to the light is going to be in the back. Again, this is a sign, so I didn't have to worry about implementing it into the actual card. So I only put foam tape on parts of the letters because they were going to be overlapping. So they're going to support each other. And as you can see, this is how I decided to separate how to put everything. I had the ends aligned with the frame of the shaker, as you can see. So I can then put everything inside how I was able to fit it, and it was going to work out perfectly. I absolutely love it. The tree is in the back, so you can kind of see it in the background. It's got a lot of movement, so you're able to see stuff once you're moving it. But I didn't want to put the actual characters in the actual shaker because I felt that they would stand out better if they were along with the name. I'm going to add a little boy here. I had to chop off one of his legs because it wasn't going back there as well as I wanted to. And the letters are have twice the dimensional foam, so I just put one layer for the little characters because I really wanted them to stand out as well. And also the back of this other little bear panda. I forgot what it was called. He told me. I totally forgot. I know. Shoot me. Sue me. So here is the other one. I absolutely love it. Love the way it turned out, you guys. Go ahead and check out the Sassy Club for these new dies and these new sets. And here I am just adding a little dab of hot glue to put the little controller on the back. So go check out Sassy Clubs. Thank you, guys.